Last time on Curse of Strahd. As you traverse to the gates of Barovia, the skeletal horseman beckons you into the foggy woods. It leads you to a large oak tree where you find the letters K and V etched into it. You find one half of a pendant and a letter from a woman named Katrina to someone named Barushka. After solving a puzzle box, let's just say the letter had remorse that she couldn't be with them after violence at Castle Ravenloft. After solving a puzzle box in the carriage provided by Strahd, which contained some fine garments, you arrive at the castle. There you meet the vampire Anastasia and Sasha, two other brides of Strahd. Sasha seems quiet and reserved, but Anastasia seems perfectly adapted to socialite life. The others tell you that Sasha is the eldest of Strahd's brides. You make small talk with the brides and Esther when a mutilated servant spills wine, quote-unquote, on Valenta. She means to kill him, but is stopped by Strahd himself. The Lord of Ravenloft tells Sasha and Valenta to seek a mop to clean the mess they made. You have a brief talk with Strahd about the sights and the people of Barovia, when Rahadin announces that dinner is served. Hope you're hungry.
I think Vogelsuch has like a black tie. Or like a red bow tie, I mean.
No, probably not. Unless you found like some ribbon somewhere, I just don't see it happening.
He'd totally wear a clip-on, though, if this was like a modern thing.
Should we tell him we got takeout on the way?
You already ate.
We stopped at McFlorbles.
There's a music volume.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah. 3 enormous crystal chandeliers brilliantly illuminate this magnificent chamber. Pillars of stone stand against the dull white marble walls supporting the ceiling. In the center of the room, a long heavy table is covered with a fine white satin cloth. The table is laden with many delectable foods: roasted beasts, basted in a savory sauce, roots and herbs of every taste, and sweet fruits and vegetables. Places are set for each of you with fine wine, delicate china, and silver. At each place is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid for delicate, tantalizing fragrance. At the center of the far west wall, between floor-to-ceiling mirrors, stands a massive organ. And Strahd...
Is the organ playing? Is it like playing by itself, ghostly, or player piano like?
It might be. There might be some.
I don't even mean that as a joke. I mean, like, would that be something Strahd's doing?
Yeah, maybe an unseen servant is playing the harpsichord there.
Play it, Sam. Play.
Yeah.
Death.
Can an unseen servant play a tuba? Because, like, do they have lungs?
Good point.
I would imagine that they could probably manifest lungs in the sense that they can interact with the physical world. They can definitely push air. They're probably just no good at it.
So, Strahd takes a seat at the head of the table, and you have your tokens there, but which seats do you take?
I don't remember the order we came in, if anything, but Vogelsuch would probably just go to the closest available one.
Yeah, I think Minerva might sit with Vio. The same side wherever Vio is, just because it seems like he's like aware of things.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Grude's good here.
You take the seat right next to Strahd. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
The observant side and the chill side.
I don't know if Vogelsuch is chill more than kill.
Strahd just moves ever so slightly to the left.
Is it because I smell? Like, I get it. You're not the first one to do it. It's okay. I just like knowing.
I will say that Vogelsuch does sit down properly. He doesn't do his little stand at the table that he usually does at the tavern.
Does it just hover over Strahd?
No, he's, for lack of a better word, he's terrible. He's on his best behavior. Like he knows this is a dangerous situation, and he doesn't wish for anything to happen to you. And as far as he knows, Strahd didn't kill him, so he's like trying to just. He knows he has to be a little more than he usually is.
Vio may have coached him earlier too.
Yeah, that too.
You see a dozen forks by your place. You don't know what to do.
Oh no.
Wait, what do we roll for this? Is it like Arcana or is it like Insight? What is this?
Is it religion?
Know which site? Which fork to use?
Yeah.
Probably a straight up like intelligence check or wisdom.
All right.
Yes, there's no etiquette proficiency.
Not for these character builds.
He has no like culture check or anything. But Grude and Vio, you see that your plates are filled with vegetables, fruits, and roots, and like a soup. Minerva, yours looks a little more traditional. You have some of the a little bit of everything. You have the roasted pig and the veggies. Vogelsuch, you notice that your plate is extravagant, the most lavish of food. You see stuff on your plate like garnishes that not even Strahd's plate has.
I kind of feel like this is they didn't know what to cook me. They're like, just give him a little bit of everything.
And you notice that your wine glass is a little more fancier.
Someone's picking favorites.
Strahd takes a seat and goes, "Please, let us enjoy our meal."
Very well. Thank you again for hosting us.
Oh, it is my pleasure. Takes a small sip from his wine glass. He knows that his wine is red as opposed to your amber colored.
Yes, I'm sure it's fine.
Don't think about the liquid.
I will inspect my wine to make sure that's also actual wine and not blood.
Okay.
How would you like me to do that?
You-
Medicine? Nature?
Yeah. I mean, nature.
Okay. 15?
15. You don't have any nostrils, so it's not red though. It's an amber color.
Oh, I got Bud Light. Awesome.
Yeah. Sunny D.
Tang.
Milk in a bag.
Mine's Yoo-hoo.
A Willy Wonka experience.
Mine's plain water.
I got a rock. It's a big old rock in a cup.
And I mean ice.
All right. Well,
Vogelsuch will.
how do you start
Put
your
the-
dinner? He's offered you to start eating.
Well, Minerva's going to say thank you very much, and she's going to try and remember anything she may have heard of this. Yeah, I think it's like you go from the inside out or something, so she's going to grab a fork from the middle of it and then use it to start eating the main dish.
Vogelsuch's gonna take a napkin and like stuff it in his shirt, like the front of the shirt hanging down like a bib, because he doesn't know any better. He's not doing this to antagonize anything. He just, that's like him trying to figure out how do you have etiquette.
How about you, Grude?
Also, like, appreciate like, oh, thanks. This is so great for you to have us over. This looks so good. My goodness. And then, like, just starts with the salad, which is most of the meal. But
Does Deez even come out, or does he not? want to
he's
see
probably
them?
afraid, and maybe I'll just
Shivering
like
in your-
stick some.
Shivering in your robe. He goes,
Yeah. So,
I made sure the last time I encountered a Visani caravan to pick up the freshest of vegetables.
I was about to go. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, you could really tell this is an excellent spread.
I was about to ask if this was homegrown or sourced elsewhere. You seem to have enough land to have farms and ranches without us ever even seeing them.
Farmlands are quite sparse here in Barovia. Kresk does grow their own crops, but many of the outside produce we procure from the Vistani.
Good way to get a variety that would otherwise not be local.
People enjoy their vegetables.
Well, yeah, there's a variety of vegetables that do a variety of different things for your system. It's try and get the colors of the rainbow, and there's a good chance you get all the nutrients you need.
Mr. Grude, it seems like you have some experience with homegrown produce.
Yeah, it's like one of my hobbies.
Have a green thumb.
2 of them.
Indeed.
But yeah, it's good to know where your food comes from. Where I was raised, like even meat. Like, it's not that bad of a thing for me to eat or anything, as long as you make sure that you use all the animal and, like, be respectful with it.
Oh, my apologies. I was not made aware that you partook in meat.
I get that so much, I don't even mind. These vegetables are amazing, and don't even worry about it.
He gestures to the roasted pig. He goes, help yourself if your orcish ferocity overtakes you.
Nice. Okay, yeah, will do. But thank you so much for all this.
And given your appearance, you must spend much time in the forest. Do you find you have anything in common with the forest folk here in Barovia? He takes a sip of his drink.
I guess like a little bit. We both know how like stuff works. But like, I don't know. So far, everyone seems like pretty cool.
Any worshipping of pagan gods where you're from?
Oh yeah, there's like, it's like a bunch of them. Like and like, there's different ones for like different groups of people, which is always really cool. Yeah, you know, just like good chances it's gonna help your like crops grow good. Why not, huh? It's worth it to try.
Do you not think it is the farmer that helps produce a good supply of crops and not divine intervention?
Well, I guess that's...
Progress is made from the sweat of your own brow.
That is quite true, but sometimes there's stuff that's just like out of your control. Like sometimes it just doesn't rain for a whole long time. It's like, well, dang, you know? Like you could be a really good farmer and maybe like scrape through, but that's when it's like kind of out of your hands a little bit.
I have spent some time in the crop fields.
Oh yeah! Tell us about it, Vogelsuch.
Well, usually it's just a matter of waiting and scaring off the birds.
My,
But more to the point.
my microphone was not recording.
Oh no!
I'm good though. We have break. Okay.
You haven't said anything interesting yet, anyway. But more to the point of divine intervention. Perhaps in normal times, a farmer's skill is what makes a bountiful crop, but sometimes you just need, well, help from above, below, wherever, for a bountiful harvest that might otherwise not come.
I was not aware that someone who has only been alive for a matter of weeks to have so much insight in
Agriculture.
Agriculture.
I've merely... You only spend at least a couple days on the fields, waiting. You have a lot of time to think. And think is what I did.
Mr. Vio, are you enjoying your meal?
Oh, yes, thank you.
I was not too educated on the taste palates of elves. It's been quite some time since I've had one at the dinner table.
Most people seem to assume that we are all vegetarians. At least the major cities anyway, they will partake of meat, but usually, so long it is as the animal doesn't suffer and all that stuff.
You see his eye twitch, as if, like he's underestimated all of you. It's like he didn't get it perfect.
I'm going to use my passive perception of yes and double back, but I particularly prefer vegetables. I'm willing to eat meat, but it is not my preference.
Turns to you, Minerva, and goes, "Please tell me that you are not a vegetarian, or else I just might feel a bit embarrassed, underprepared."
Absolutely not. I'd say you've got it pretty accurate with what I've got. This is all quite good. I'm assuming it's actually all like beyond good food.
Oh yeah, this is better than anything you've had here in Barovia.
Especially in Barovia.
I'm still expecting it, but we forgot to bring out your favorite. Snaps fingers, and someone comes in with a plate covered in books.
It's a whole bunch of like screwdrivers and stuff.
Just paper.
Most of the meat you probably had here has either been wolf or like peasants, things like that.
Pheasants, not peasants.
Peasants.
That's about to be like, oh.
At least I hope this is pheasant.
You heard me.
I mean, I wouldn't be above Strahd. Like the whole fact that the actual animal is dead on the table and we can see it coming out of it is actually a relief in this situation. But no, this is quite by far the best thing I've ever had, and in Barovia too. This is quite wonderful and excellently, exquisitely prepared.
You enjoyed your stay in my land these past several weeks. You have all been very busy.
Yes, taking in the sights, given errands and such to give us travel money.
Yes, you have been out and about. From Barovia all the way to Vallaki. Even stopped by the old windmill. Oh, and of course, our little meeting at Yesterhill. Congratulations again for winning our little wager.
Yes, thank you.
You seem
All in good
like-
fun, of course. Is Minerva?
You seem
yes, sister.
very interested in where we have been. Have you been following us?
Not many of my guests have enjoyed the lands as thoroughly as you have.
The roads are dangerous and prevent travel of the those who cannot defend themselves.
What
Have
sort
you ever
of
thought about putting in a public transit system of some sort?
gravy? There's not enough interest in traversing the towns. People prefer the safety of their walls.
It is true, it does not seem like a... Except for the, Oh, what was the village where Blinksy was?
Starts with a V.
Vallaki?
Vallaki, yeah.
Except for Vallaki. Everyone seemed to keep their city to themselves. Vallaki for a while there had the lovely festival, the toy maker.
Yes, I have heard of the festivals. And of the recent succession of Lady Wagner, the role of Burgermeister.
Burgermistress? Burgermeister. It's all the same, just a title. What is Strahd eating?
He has kind of the same thing that Minerva has. But you haven't noticed him eat anything.
Yes.
Yeah, because we have the wives did let us know that vampires can technically eat food, but they don't really get sustenance from it.
Yeah. He is sipping his wine glass though.
Well, I was wondering what your thoughts of were the weekly festivals. It seemed kind of exorbitant. A lot of resources went into that, and noticeably it didn't make too many people happy.
A waste of resources, if you ask me. Could have been that foolish Baron could have used his influence in other ways than putting on such a silly thing. What was the phrase that they said?
I don't want to hear it again, but
I do believe I may remember it,
all
but
is
I think we've all heard it too much. But it's, did you just say all will be well?
yeah, all yeah.
Yes, that one.
Do you believe that indicates a dissatisfaction?
The tiring of the phrase, or the phrase itself?
That they even had to say it to begin with.
Well, I think it's when they live in a place where there could be wolves or something, the future feels like it could be uncertain. And they wanted to create some form of certainty so then they didn't have to worry so much anymore and to get on with their lives. I feel like human beings maybe just cling to that type of certainty, and so they'll make little mantras for themselves to help them fight that monster.
Repeat something long enough, and you may start believing it.
Humanoids can be a bit superstitious, I have learned.
He's sipping his wine. I've seen that as well.
And what have you? Do you have any superstitions? Afraid of a black cat here or there?
You lived as long as me. Take things at face value. Want something done, you do it for yourself. No need to invent reasons or excuses.
That, I believe, is what is called a go-getter.
Speak up just a little bit, Mark.
That's what I believe they call a go-getter.
Oh, is that what it's called? I'm not up to date on the vernacular. Things
Pragmatism?
outside the list. Pragmatism. Indeed. Mr. Vio, I noticed your instrument.
Yes.
He says, do you play?
Yes, it is my trade.
I'm afraid that the arts have become quite stagnant here in Barovia, with so little outside influence. One rarely gets to hear anything new.
Apart from a couple of songs, I've yet to see another musician in your kingdom.
People who know the arts die out and fail to pass on their skills to a successor. It's quite a pity.
Indeed. One would hope that people would learn simply by listening to the music in their hearts.
What music is in your heart, Mr. Vio? What drives you?
That is a good question. I believe, finding, that which is not known yet. Exploration.
I feel quite the same. To see the broader world once more. I've known all there is to know about this insignificant valley for centuries now, and I yearn for the unknown. Do you feel fulfilled by this desire to travel and to learn?
I believe so, yes.
Perhaps one day you can write a song about your experiences and add to Barovia's culture.
Well, I shall be here for quite some time, so that will be a given.
Just another sip of his wine. Are you enjoying the refreshments?
As best I can.
I brought out the old vintages. Our last remaining barrel of Champagne de l'Estompe.
I was wondering what this was.
Minerva drinks it just to see what the big deal is.
Tastes like
Instantly
high
gets
C.
drunk.
It's better than... I don't know anything about wine, so I don't know what makes a wine better or worse than anything else.
Because I know that there's like the drier with sweeter. Yeah, there's like a variety of things
Yeah.
for it. But I imagine it's like the best of that one. With the crispest bubbles.
Not even my brides knew of it. Our little secret.
There are quite many people who pine for the loss of this.
Oh yes. There has been produced at the winery for quite some time. But luckily we had a barrel in storage.
I would hope that the 5 of us wouldn't have used up the entire barrel.
Plenty for our next visit.
I would drink to that if I could imbibe.
Yes, I'm sorry you can't enjoy your meal. Or is it for a lack of trying?
I have tried sustenance before, and it goes right through me, rather literally. Do not mistake my inability to eat for not being
Appreciative.
yes, appreciative of the set, course, and everything.
This
It
would be-
is among the most tantalizing food I have laid my eyes on.
Yes, it would be quite uncommon for someone of your nature to be in need of food. When I first heard of a scarecrow traveling with a group of outsiders from beyond the mist, I was quite perplexed.
My traveling companions have been reliable, and I hope that I have been reliable to them.
I wondered if you were one of Baba Lasaga's creations. But when I asked her, she did not know of you.
We have seen several other revenants and several other constructs around. We just came from Argenvostholt after some rumors and stories.
Oh, you had visited Argenvostholt. He has the slightest of smiles on his lips.
Quite the ruins. Impressive as it is.
What was your impressions of those long forgotten nights?
Oh, you mean K-N-I-G.
Yes.
It's like, wait, what? Did we have a moment of passion that I forgot about? What? They are loyal to the end. Honorable. As a knight should be.
Oh, but how they have fallen. A forgotten and tarnished militia, long since forsaken by their own will.
The honorable, the loyalty is a Double-edged sword, I suppose.
Loyal to the death. Argenvost Holt was the location of perhaps my greatest conquest here in the valley.
We had heard that you might have been, well, at least partially responsible for the big hole in the side of it.
Not even I knew that Lord Argenvost was such a magnificent creature.
It must have been a sight to behold.
And forever in memoriam.
Raises his glass as a bit of a toast. Obviously can't drink, but we'll raise it.
He'll raise his glass.
Minerva follows.
Same.
Yeah.
Takes a sip. But that does beg the question, Mr. Vogelsuch. When I heard your possible connection to that cursed place. Now rewind a little bit. Saying, when I realized that you weren't one of Lasaga's construct, then perhaps you're some creature of death, risen from the grave. But how curious that I had no control over you.
I must say, well, if I am one who has slipped through your cracks, I assure you I shall cause you no trouble. I have a drive that I've yet to been able to fulfill.
There you go, Mark.
Yeah, I'm in character thinking and I'm leaning back, so.
So I'm turning up. It's good.
Okay.
But then I learned of your interest in Argenvost. And I wondered again to myself, is there a connection to you and the Knights of the Silver Dragon?
I wondered the same thing, which is why we took a detour to visit.
Then I remembered their oath. If you might indulge me, Mr. Vogelsuch.
The oath?
If I could see your weapon that you
Oh.
carry.
Well, if you wish, I will put the wine down and stand up, and I will hold up my hand and summon the scythe.
Quite impressive. What magics you must hold. If you might indulge me for another moment.
Go on.
He'll stand up. And he'll say, strike me down. Kill me. Right here.
I don't have a drive to do that. Are you sure you would like me to try that?
He puts out a hand. At least draw blood.
Takes his
But I
scythe
don't have a pencil.
takes his scythe in the two hands and goes over. Well, as you. Not to be a poor dinner guest, but I can try.
Vio is sharing very nervous looks with Minerva.
Yeah.
It's like in
Yeah.
between the two. Just like darting eyes back and forth
Yeah.
and just like eating so much food. Like,
I would-
"Oh, oh, oh."
I'd go around Grude to get closer to him. So, I do feel I must ask one thing. If I am to do this, are you the one who killed me?
Well, that is impossible to say. If you were there on the day Argenvost fell, or in the fields the days prior, then perhaps our paths did cross, and I ended your life.
And if I am able to strike you down, perhaps draw blood, it will fulfill my struggle. I will attempt to slice his hand with my silvered magical pact weapon.
As soon as you attempt to even move your hand in any sorts of violence against him, the razor vine appears around your hands and kind of shackles you to the floor. You drop your scythe.
Oh.
Oh.
Which something similar happened at Ardenvostholt.
Yes,
So,
Yes, we did get a hint.
but it wasn't this like extreme. He sits back down. Well, that is interesting.
As I said, I have no desire to kill you, as you were not the one who killed me.
The vines disappeared. The vines disappear.
They dissipate the pact weapon.
Mr. Vogelsuch, what if I was the one that killed you? Why don't you have a burning desire to strike me down?
Because I don't know if you are or not.
But it's impossible for me to know. Are you just cursed to wander my domain for all eternity?
Perhaps. Or I shall find this by process of elimination. I shall ask every person in Barovia, and if they all say no, perhaps it is you.
There weren't many who are still alive that partook in that battle. In fact, I believe it's only me and Chamberlain Rod, and of course the rotting corpses that now occupy the place.
I suppose it is also possible that while I have a drive to find who killed me, there's no reason for me to need to. Or rather, the universe will not care if I do or do not. So as you said, I could be cursed forever to wander Barovia.
So you see yourself insignificant in the
I think
in the structure of the universe.
I believe so. I am a mere scarecrow, unable to consume, unable to sleep, unable to enjoy life.
Our friend here has a very one-track mind.
Yes, I can tell.
I can think of worse things than being stuck in Barovia for eternity. Maybe not much, but certainly worse. A few things. I'll go back and pick up his wine and hold it as he usually does.
Sips his wine again as you enjoy a little more of your food. Again, it remains untouched. Doesn't even glance down at it. Miss Makeshift,
Yes.
I have heard and I have witnessed your inventions. On Yester Hill, that contraption of yours was quite impressive.
Yes, it shot quite a bit of fire that day. I was very happy because of all those vines.
I've never witnessed such mechanical wonder before.
Well, I thank you. I take that compliment as somebody who sees you as someone else who also enjoys the craftsmanship and science behind these creations.
Am I mistaken that there's a bit of the arcane involved as well?
Yes, it's quite a mix of science and magic. You'd almost say that it's whenever it's convenient, it's magic, and whenever it's easy to explain, it's science.
Do you find that contradictory in any way?
No. I see that science is what can be understood with the mind, and magic is what is done with the heart. So it makes sense that the two would come together and create something that is a true combination of the two.
Study of magic is one learns for oneself. It's not like the blind devotion of faith.
I'd agree with that.
Did you study magic? Or did it simply come naturally? Or is it the inscription of runes?
It is more a mixture of, I don't want to say chemicals, because it's not so much as I take plants or anything and put them into chemical bases. It's just sometimes wolfsbane is more powerful when it's wolfsbane, and then other times something is more powerful as a science when it's reduced to a chemical.
Alchemy.
So it's balancing those two.
An alchemist.
Yes. So more of an alchemy. So it helps me juice up things that, for perhaps somebody who only knows the science, to put it a little bit further. I'd say like putting it on steroids, if you'd like. I don't know if there's steroids.
Unfamiliar with that concoction.
It essentially makes your body repair at a faster rate, so you can work out or do strengthening more often. People usually get it misunderstood for it just generates muscle and strength, but that's not true. You also get a whole bunch of skin hormone issues, so I'd rather you stay away from it.
We'll take that into consideration.
Not to say that I'd ever think you'd want to do steroids.
Perhaps I shall not ask Ludmilla to produce some steroids.
No, she would. Well, actually, I don't know. And then so whenever we'll look at him, it's like, because of your nature being vampiric, you already can recover at such a high level. I don't think it would do anything for you.
Perhaps you have stumbled upon some of the dark power in your alchemy. There's a slight chuckle, but it seems almost automatic.
Dark power?
Never you mind. But in my younger days, I did practice in the magical arts. But ever since the mists fell, they have diminished. Quite thankful that Ludmilla visited the castle and offered her arcane expertise, where I am lacking.
I will say she was quite the formidable sorceress. Having her command me to run out like a coward.
Yes, that was quite an embarrassing retreat. She did not live up to my expectations that day. Unlike you. But like you, she is a bit of a scientist. But instead of creating creatures of metal and magic, she does so of flesh. In necromancy. I remember the last thing I asked her to create. It was soon after I awoken, actually. I said to her I wish to deliver a plague to the people of Barovia once I learned that they have forsaken me. Went against my wishes, but the problem with raised corpses is they are quite easily disposed of. But what if we put the plague inside the creature, toughen its skin? We could have maximum casualties with minimum damage to the creature. He takes a sip of his wine. It's quite an elegant solution she came up with. Wouldn't you agree?
It's definitely efficient. There's definitely probably a horrified look on her face.
You remember
with that description.
you encountered some of these creatures soon after you left Barovia. It was
family.
Yeah, it was a family. Yeah. It was the matter of finding the bodies, but so many people go missing in the woods.
Yes, I can see why that they all wanted it to. All will be well with so many disappearances.
Raises a glass. All will be well. I'm glad I did not have to witness that fool of a man. But after that display of brilliance, it was quite disappointing of her display at Yester Hill.
Perhaps she's a bit of a one-trick pony, as the phrase goes.
I believe she's simply trying too hard.
Well, definitely better than not trying hard enough. Maybe she'll learn soon.
But I will say it's better thought out than Valenta's little escapade.
Oh, trying to break into Vallaki?
Oh, you've heard about that, have you?
Yes, I believe we saw a little I don't know, altercation.
There's like a knowing look on his face. It would have been quite the spectacle, though. Massacre on the day they feel safest.
Well, I guess it wouldn't have worked anyways because the Baron had been forcefully resigned just before then. So I guess it would have been a little anticlimactic.
But the people of Vallaki have no grievances against them. They've served me quite loyally in the past, and now that Fiona Wagner is the burger mistress, to call her. I suspect that it will continue to be that way. She knows where her loyalties lie.
I do have to ask though, Lord Strahd, did you ever meet Blinksky?
Lord von Zarovich.
Lord von Zarovich. I'm sorry.
Please, Strahd was my father. Call me Lord von Zarovich.
Don't you ever mention my father!
And he was a jerk.
Don't you say anything bad about my father.
Okay, what was your question?
Oh, did he ever meet Blinsky?
Never had the pleasure. I was indisposed for quite some time. Any business I had with Vallaki, I sent my chamberlain.
I mean, it makes sense. You've got a whole area, lands to look after. But it was just, he was a very curious person. He's just wondering if you ran into him as a curiosity.
Yeah, he's probably like one of the funnest people that we've run into. He's just a really fun guy. Really weird, but super excited about everything.
You would probably approve of his interests. Very macabre.
His eyebrows raises. Interesting. Perhaps I shall pay him a visit, as it were. Speaking of Vallaki, what another coincidence that you were once evolved yet again. when my chamberlain was to sentence those 2 men to death for their transgressions against the church. You were there to intervene.
But it happened immediately after he gave us your invitations.
But that you chose to intervene at all.
Well, we knew the people who he was trying. We'd met them on a previous visit to the Valaki. And so, having met them and knowing who they were, it seemed like an unnecessary death.
So you believe that familiarity meant they should not be punished for their crimes?
More that he was suggesting rather extreme punishments for. It did not seem worthy of death.
Takes a sip of wine. Doesn't respond to it. But I have asked so much about you. If you wish to know more about me, then this will be a chance to get to know each other more. Become more familiar to your lord.
Well, I guess I'm wondering well, how many times in your lifetime have people drifted in here? Is it a regular occurrence? Or is it something that happens only a couple 100 years?
Oh, I have lost count. Sometimes it could be decades, sometimes years. From what I heard, you are some of the first to arrive in a very long time. I'm curious how you arrived. It's not easy to get through the mist.
We're not entirely sure what happened, but we were simply in the same tavern together one night, left, and ended up getting stuck inside of a house.
Oh yeah, the murder house.
It was a house owned by somebody, the Dursts, I believe.
You might have mentioned this the first time you talked to him, but he'll say, yes, the Durst owned a bit of land near the borders of the valley. Nuisances. Some of my first worshippers, and I detested them for it.
They were certainly diligent.
What was that, Minerva?
Oh, sorry, I just talked over VO.
Yeah.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Oh, just curious, some of your first worshippers?
The very first. Once the mist came and started to see me as something of a god. He seems disgusted by the fact.
We'll be happy to know that the house seemed to have disappeared after we left it, but I don't know if it's just something that pops back up every now and again.
Saying that, I do not know the answer to. Perpetual life and death is the nature of things here.
As I can certainly attest to.
But even after I dealt with them, they do bring me new visitors. And for that I am thankful. If they survive this murder house, as you call it.
Well, there was quite a lot of it in it.
And you seem to enjoy having a population, but not worshippers? What is it that bothers you about those that would look up to you in such a way?
Because I am no deity. Let's keep it at that.
Many seem to feel you are close enough to one.
You think it's because they fear me? Perhaps these worshippers and the Burgermeister of Vallaki aren't so different.
I think it's because you're like really like a pretty strong guy, you know? So like maybe they just want to like feel like they're part of something. Want to feel like they're part of that power, so they start worshiping you, feeling like you're part of a group. That'd be my guess.
Superstition. All will be well. All will be well under Count von Zarovich. It's not too different.
Or
Kind
just
of like
simple
breathe
placating.
through there. Yeah.
Any other questions for him?
Can we see the house? No.
Hey, do you have like a dragon
castle?
skull around?
Yeah. Any werewolves? So let's say I was a werewolf, hypothetically. Where in the castle would I be?
Is there a spot for those?
Yes. You have like a room number. And if you write down here like weaknesses, armor class, hit points, that kind of thing.
What is an armor class?
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to know. I've been around so long that I use that.
No.
Good luck.
As someone that's new to this game, I have no idea what you said, but I get the but I get that that's part of the joke because it's from.
It's a very old like first second edition D&D thing,
Yeah,
which you use to. It's almost like an armor class, but it's more confusing.
I'll
Nice.
give you a 20-minute dysentery on or whatever.
Dysentery.
Dissertation. That's the word.
Dysentery.
Dissertation.
Are you enjoying your peasants? We had them freshly harvested.
They might
Yeah.
have dysentery, but we get the cleanest.
And these salads from the foliage.
Well, I was trying to make a joke about that too. Can I ask you a question? But yeah, if you have anything else to ask him about.
You mentioned that you were speaking with what was her name again?
Bala Saga.
Yes.
Babala Saga, yeah.
We've heard a lot of things about her. Most of it not very good, and been attacked by a few things she supposedly created. Are you friends? We don't know too much about her. Just that she makes things.
Well, this may amuse you, but she was my nursemaid.
Oh.
She served under my father. And when he passed, served under me. Does that answer your question?
I suppose so.
Whenever I have needs of witchcraft and in nature, I seek her aid. She stakes to herself in the ruins of Berez, for the most part, from what I hear. It's quite the swamp these days.
Yes, we've hesitated visiting that area due to rumors.
And why would you? Surely you have no business with her.
No, not at all.
Joey sips his pink lemonade.
As Vogelsuch drinks the remnants of his blackberry Moscow mule.
Oh, such your food's getting cold.
It's no matter. I have no temperature detection ability.
No, it's the microbes. The like salmonella and stuff can like come up in it. If you leave it at room temperature too long and then eat it, bacteria grows.
Mr.
That's
Grude.
how they invented penicillin.
Ah!
Ah.
Ah!
Penicillin? What on earth is that?
It's like mold, but like good. Because often you think mold bad, but actually sometimes it's good.
Some people are allergic to it.
Oh yeah, except for that it also gets real bad.
Mr. Grude, speaking of witchcraft, you have such a connection to nature. Have you have any interest in that field of magic?
I like being like aware of what's going on and like it is kind of neat to like know those things, be able to do those things. I'm real handy. I guess I'm not like I could be more actively going figuring stuff out about it. I guess I'm just too laid back of a guy. Like if it happens, I'll do it, and I do kind of like a little bit go after it. But I know so many guys. They just go at it so hard.
So you would tap into the powers of Mother Night,
Of who?
like the witches
It depends.
in the werewolf priestesses.
I guess it'd be cool to see like. It's I guess it's also a thing of like how it's used, and then sometimes also like the means and also how it's used. But it's something I wouldn't say no, you know?
Quite an honest answer. Not many would admit to such things. They find it beneath them. But I agree, it's what you use with the power, and where it comes from. How's everyone's plates look?
Full.
Roots is pretty decimated. I'd say it's probably like an 80% done. Like there's probably like I feel like it was probably an overfull plate, so it was like a kind of too much to be able to like comfortably eat it all.
Mm.
Mine probably just had salad stuff on it, and so most of that is probably gone.
Okay. Well, let's see if you have any other questions for him. He will continue.
Not just yet.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for double checking.
Yeah, I think that's without getting too invasive. I think is the balance here, and I think this is a pretty good start.
I'm hesitant to bring up certain topics in case he might push back, and there's stuff we don't want to talk about.
Well, because if you have any questions for him, like this is the time.
Right.
Okay.
I think we've already learned most of what we want to know from elsewhere.
Okay.
All the notes and stuff.
Yeah.
His diary.
So tell me about this diary you have.
Mr. Von.
Immediately talk about that girl
Oh,
and
no.
his brother. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Mr. Strahd, what is your favorite color?
He says bluntly, red.
Very fitting.
Some find it ironic.
Why is that?
Fascinating conversation. Puts down his glass. He looks at your plates and goes, and I trust that the food was satisfactory.
Oh yes, quite. This is, again, very wonderful and exquisite food. You really outdone yourself by creating at least what I ate. I won't speak for everyone else, mostly Vogelsuch.
And I do apologize that the meat, that your dishes do not include meat. I shall make a note of it and tell the kitchen staff.
Oh, no worries. Like, I don't think everyone's been assuming this the whole time. So, like, no one's given me meat this whole time. So if you're like kind of referencing what everyone else is doing, totally makes sense. But you just had this cool pig on the table, and so I thought I'd bring it up. So you know that, like, comfortable.
You're welcome to help.
Yeah. So Grude would have like picked some out while they're doing stuff.
Just grab the whole leg off.
It's just like, ow. But so yeah, don't you worry. Like, that's why I brought it up, is I wanted to try some of that.
Hands and lips are all like
greasy and
stuff. Yeah.
Just rips open and grabs the ribs out.
Does like Barovia have like a tradition of like the wishbone? Like, because like we used to do that with like back home. Like, we don't even want to do that in the wishbone.
Does that go to Strahd and be like, do you want to do the wishbone with me? You're the host.
I'm not aware.
That's a bird.
Yeah, I don't think hogs have wishbones.
No, because I think that's a like collarbone type thing.
Yeah.
And
You can't do it with any of them. So you know that the pigs don't have collarbones, so you can't really do it. But you can do it with people, because like, you know, it's...
Yeah, it's different, you know. Cats technically have collarbones, but they're really small.
Now that we've had our meal, how about do you know how I enjoy my games? I wish to explore your wit and cunning with some theoretical situations.
Okay.
Oh, I hope this doesn't involve a trolley cart.
I'm unaware of that one.
Minerva, Vio, and Grude are sitting in front of tied to the tracks. What does Vogelsuch do?
Watch.
So, do you know how the trolley game works? How it actually measures? Is how quickly you answer. So if it takes you really long to answer, that means that you have a moral dilemma. If it does not take you long to answer, it means you do not have a moral dilemma. Or you've heard the question before.
Yeah.
Or you simply don't care.
Yeah.
And the answer is teeth.
I'm just mad that I missed the trolley in the first place. I was supposed to get on in Chattanooga.
One train leads Velaki, or one carriage leaves Velaki at 1 mile an hour, another one leaves Barovia at 3 when to intersect. But he goes, I'm unaware of the trolley problem.
It's like a water deep, I guess.
I know about the 3 body problem. No, he's asking in character what that might be.
If we will indulge with a hypothetical.
Explain.
Was it
Taking a big gulp of wine, so we gotta wait.
Was it Minerva who brought it up?
Yes.
Trolley
So,
problem?
are we still in the trolley? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Strahd said he was not aware of the trolley problem.
Oh.
Well, so the question would be, say you were in charge of the tracks of a system. I don't think railroads exist here, but imagine there's a form of carriage made of mostly steel that goes along steel tracks. This thing is fairly immovable and would crush any living thing that goes in front of it. And it splits into 2 tracks, so you have to choose if it goes to the left track or the right track. On one track, you would say have a series of people, I guess for you, it would be you'd have your brides tied to one track. And then on the other track, you would have, oh dear.
It'd be like Rodin?
Yeah, I guess Rodin would be. The idea is it's two groups that you would have some form of care for. You're interested in them living, but you have to make a choice that you have to either kill all of the brides or Rahadin. And what choice do you make?
Does this happen often where you're from?
We'll get into that later, Bio.
As soon as they install the trolleys in Waterdeep, this immediately happens. Well, I'm unaware of the context of their deeds prior to being tied to these tracks, as it were. Actually, I don't even know if he'd be aware of like a railroad, all that kind of stuff. His world definitely didn't have that.
Like a fixed path,
Yeah,
I guess.
but
Maybe Minerva's from Eberron.
yeah, but he says, "Did the brides displease me? Has Rahadin been disloyal?"
They are both equally the same in that respect.
But that's not in reality. Some of my brides have been quite disappointing as of late, when Rahadin remains loyal as ever. But I know for a fact that he would gladly lay down his life for me. So if he were to perish, it would cause him no dilemma. Puts a hand to his chin. But my brides would be interested in self-preservation. And they do have their uses. I see the dilemma. Perhaps it's not how quickly they answer, but how long it takes. Or what the answers, how long they take to answer.
Why, yes. You've figured it out.
I'm so
It's
smart.
whether to
I'm so
see-
smart.
The thing is, he would be, though.
Yeah.
It would definitely fit in with his intelligence.
So I believe there is no correct answer. Could be. It could be either.
Perhaps the
But it's
correct
how
answer
you
is the friends
perceive
we meet
me.
along the way.
It's how you perceive me in my choice.
And more or less that you took the time to make a choice. Deliberation. Thoughtfulness.
I would like one day to see these trolleys.
These murderous trolleys.
These murderous trolleys. They're
What a way of executing people. Well, actually, it's mostly made for travel. You can carry quite large quantities.
uncaring mechanical monstrosities that do the bidding of the ones at the lever.
Oh, hail our trolley overlord.
I feel like Vio is seriously worried that he is going to hire Minerva at this point.
No, I needed
Imagine if I
Brad.
had to
All the
execute
stuff
an
over there.
entire town for being disloyal. I can simply put them on the tracks.
I can tie each one of them one by one on the track, and then we'll just keep going. This game ends with me making him a murder train.
I must escape Barovia so I can murder people with a trolley.
Yes, well,
I mean, he's murdered people so many different ways, it would be a new way of murdering people.
Variety is the spice of life.
my question may have similar dilemma, but I would appreciate an answer. If you accept.
Well, you accepted mine, so I'll accept yours.
No prize this time. I am out of trinkets. He says, imagine that you are the liege and master of a vassal lord. When you descend to collect this year's taxes from your vassal's village, your accountant reports that the year's taxes are woefully short. When asked to explain, the Lord explains that the harvests have been lean and sickness has plagued the village. You notice, however, that the Lord wears a fine gold chain around his neck, with a new wool cloak with buttons crafted with pure silver. How would you handle that situation?
Well, I would look into. For me personally, I would need more information. If I were to believe, as the information provided right now, I could feel that he is perhaps stealing some of what was owed me. But I don't have enough to prove it. I mean, the gold chain could
You see the gold chain.
Could be a fairly
The village
family
has...
heirloom.
Sorry. The village has no great wealth. He is wearing the chain. He's the only one with such extravagant jewelry and clothes.
But yes, I don't know if it could be an old family heirloom. It could have been gifted for a deed he had done. I would have to know more, because also, where would he get it from if nowhere around has such things?
Even if it was a family heirloom, wouldn't it the just thing to do is to sell it so he has gold to provide for his people?
Oh, I see.
You're saying you wouldn't make immediate judgment.
No, I would definitely, it would arise suspicion. But I would not make hasty choices.
What are
I
the
would want to be certain that if things were true, if everything was lean, but all of his wealth was there, and it meant the difference between life and death, that a gold necklace wouldn't be worth a lot.
What are the rest of you? Any insight?
I'm with her, really. I would rather make a judgment based off knowledge than simply observing it for a moment and may possibly misunderstand the situation.
Yeah, because if you were to give the things away now to pay off the taxes and stuff, and then the same thing just happens next year, is that, and he has nothing to give. Even it's a short-term fix, but yeah, I would also keep an eye on that dude, because if everyone's sick and dying, that means that he's not running the place very well either. If he's totally fine and rocking a silk robe or whatever. So
Vogelsuch. No, go ahead.
Oh, that's it. He might not be a great leader, maybe is what I'm getting at. And then running a village like this, it's never going to get better with that guy, maybe, if that is what's going on.
Another hypothetical. Okay, but
Vogelsuch has nothing to add to the conversation at all. The hypothetical does not affect him in the slightest, and he has no opinion on it.
it's another hypothetical. Imagine that you are the monarch of a realm. One day, a fearsome archmage rises an army of undead in rebellion against you. As he approaches your keep, you have the opportunity to parley with him at the drawbridge of your castle. What do you do?
Well, do you think the dude's going to be cool with the parlay? Do you think he's not going to pull any fast stuff?
This is what you believe.
Okay, so
would you trust him to honor such a parlay? Or would you assume deception?
I think I would assume deception, to be honest with you. Just because he's like, I'm here to take over stuff. That's the easiest way to take someone over, is if you just kind of get them alone. There'd have to be some sort of, like, I don't know if we could put, like, a magical, like, treaty or something in it that if I get hurt during the parlay, so does he. To the point where if I die, so does he. Then that would be a way to get around that. But assuming that that's not even an option, then I don't think I would. Because I don't see being able to talk a guy out of taking over a place if he just made this whole super army and stuff. That's what I think, anyways.
Interesting.
I would be hesitant as well. He did bring up an entire army of undead, so clearly has some goal he wishes to do. I would probably make the parlay either from the walls or possibly lower the drawbridge halfway, but not allow him into the castle.
It stands to reason that the one coming here does not seem to want to parley with us. Why else would they bring the army of people?
Perhaps it was
Or
just a
at the
show
very
of.
least,
Go ahead.
that is what I mean. At the very least, they do not trust us. Perhaps they don't have a reason to.
Perhaps it was simply a show of force.
But why not show the force if you could just talk to us? Are we the ones who are non-trustworthy?
Simply a
Are we the
hypothetical.
baddies?
Simply a hypothetical question.
And a hypothetical rebut, as it were.
What about you, Miss Gearshift?
Makeshift.
Makeshift.
Well, yes, I guess having all that effort to put in might make them feel that they're just really there for one thing. The other thing is, when going up to a lord in a castle by yourself, you're going up against an entire castle, and I could see it feeling very uneven. So having an entire land would just give more negotiating on an even playing field, I guess? I'm not sure playing field's the right word, but if one has all the power, then there's not really anything to negotiate. So
War is more like a playing field than you would believe.
Yes. But I think it wouldn't necessarily mean that they are there to only talk about destruction. They might just need something to make themselves feel like they're on equal battleground or playground.
So you were the only one that would not assume deception.
Yes.
And one final question. Imagine once again that you are the monarch of a realm, and as you sleep in your bed, an assassin slips into your chambers, but is frightened away by your guard's timely arrival before your throat can be slit. What would you do with him?
Sorry, Joey, could you say the first part of that?
You are once again the monarch of a realm. As you sleep in your bed, an assassin slips into your chambers, but is frightened away by your guard's timely arrival before your throat can be slit. What do you do?
If he is frightened away, then he's gone.
You would not pursue him. He tried to kill you.
My guards could pursue him?
So you would rely on your servants, on those serving under you.
If I have hired them as guards, why would I hire lesser men who cannot get the job done? Now,
You
if
are
he had-
admittedly in your bedclothes at this time.
and I admittedly have less issue of pursuing a would-be assassin than tracking down my own assassin. So I admit my answer may be skewed. As he peeks over the pile of food that he has not been able to touch.
Some flies buzzing around it. There's a little dog in the corner just looking up like, want to eat it.
Give him some wine.
And what of the rest of you? How would you handle assassination attempt?
I would want to catch the person, at the very least to find out why he attempted it, or who put him up to it. And also attempt to find out how he got there to begin with.
Saying it might be the fault of the guards for not protecting your home.
There could also be a entrance I don't know about, a pathway that can be easily traveled, such as loose stones outside the walls.
Seem less concerned about the assassin and more concerned of the means of his arrival.
Well, if there is a method in which he got in, I would have to then worry about more than one assassin, possibly.
Anyone else have an answer for him?
Minerva's going to be similar to Vio. It's not so much that one person was there, it's what were the things that caused there wanting to be an assassination? Is there a larger scheme that if killing him he'd simply be replaced by another, then it would feel almost fruitless?
Yeah, and like if you kill him, will you just become like will they become like a hero to like if it is like a group of them, and like if you kill them, will it like scare people so that way they stop trying to assassinate you, or will it make more people try?
I believe the assassin is possibly the symptom of a larger problem.
He hasn't touched his wine in a while, but he takes another sip. And he hears that. But I'm sure none of you have ever had a knife to your throat as you sleep.
Not that I can remember, at least.
Fortunately, yes. It is only hypothetical for me.
I myself have survived many daggers and many assassins throughout my life. As a soldier, as a king, and even since my rebirth into undeath.
Like, okay, like if any of those situations, like you killed the guy or kept him alive, I totally get either way, because like, not cool. Why the heck would you go and try to kill a guy? Like, I can understand that your reaction would be to just like get him out of the equation, wherever it is.
He looks thoughtful for a moment. He says, "Although I am loath to sully a night of fellowship and merriment with matters of business, I must confess that I have suffered the attentions of one such assassin quite recently. A viper by the name of Rudolph van Richten." He lifts an eyebrow. How do you all react to that?
Do I have to roll a dice to like keep a poker face?
Can I do a poker face roll?
Sure, yeah.
I kind of feel like
Deception.
I kind of feel like Vogelsuch would automatically have a poker face.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a face.
Yeah, but
that's
maybe you
the
have a
point,
weird
yeah.
tick.
Yeah, that's fair. Can I do deception with advantage because of my lack of
Oh,
face?
What did Vio? Did you do a cartoon like jaw drop?
I coughed my wine.
No, this isn't a required roll. I'm just kind of wondering how you might react to that.
I think like Grude would like to hold it in, but it'd also be funny if I can't.
I'm very much just like I'm just being like, yeah, and just like not going into anything more than just like receiving information.
Yeah. To my regret, however, my servants were unable to apprehend him. I believe him to still be at large. Puts his wine glass down.
Did you?
I'm curious if you have
pursue him? I literally come out and just blurt that out. Did you pursue him after the attempt?
Not personally, but I was wondering if you had any whisperings of his presence in your travels through my domain.
Yes. Sort of. When we were first in the town of Barovia, I believe his name did come up. Something to do with a boy that ended up suscepting from vampirism. Apparently, he was inspired by him to join the attack upon your castle.
So you have heard of my assassination attempt?
Not that part, just the attack.
You would have heard they went there to try to slay Strahd.
Oh yeah, I know. Just not like specifically. Just that his name was brought up in what riled up the attack.
You have not met him personally.
If we have, I do not imagine he would have announced who he was so openly if you are after him.
Give me a deception check.
Yeah.
I made sure to word that, which it is technically true, but
I was like, I can't say anything. My deception's horrible. Vio.
God.
Yeah. He goes, that is unfortunate. But you notice a glint in his eye. But we're going to, as he thanks you for dining with him, he offers you a brief tour of the castle, which we will do after a little break.
Yay!
Whee!
Yeah.
A little tour of the giant castle.
A nice reprieve from ratting out our friend accidentally.
Honestly, with that assassination attempt, I was like, oh, they just got owned. Like, I didn't even register that as an assassination attempt because it went so poorly.
The closest we got to knowing that Esmeralda ended up telling us that he supposedly basically led it and got as far as the coffin, but that's pretty much the only reference we've had that he personally tried to assassinate him.
I'm trying to remember what you know of all that.
Yeah, that his manuscript ended up inspiring what's his name in the church basement to lead the assault into the castle. For a while, it sounded like he had never actually met Van Richten, but I guess they did. and we know that he managed to get to the coffin, tried, failed, and fled.
Well, you know, and you also know that Esther got turned and is seemingly pretty cool with it.
Yeah. Oh, that supposedly he may have been like a turncoat.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a secret information. They would have gotten to the coffin and it was empty.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he was told in advance, most likely.
Benrickton might have mentioned it. He wouldn't have hidden that fact. Okay, let's take a little break.
Hedberg, taken from us too soon because of drugs that he did.
Alright, the drugs. Alright. Wanted to see the castle? Let's see the castle. So,
Yeah.
everyone's
Kinda boring.
Yeah, compared to the other scene. All these
Did we
people
clean everything up?
are not here. Yes, the thing is clean.
Alright, now show us where you keep the succubi.
Straight to the fun stuff, I see.
No, I want to ask them if they killed me or not.
And can they do it again?
Kill me from this conversation.
Just throws everybody else outside.
How's the music sound? Oh, it's a little soft.
Okay. For a second there, I didn't see the extra blackness that hasn't been erased yet. And I was like, wait a minute, where did they get the mop? All there is just that statue.
Yeah, they went down
This looks like a hallway.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe, you know you can put maybe your settings. You can actually put tokens outside the map, the canvas boundary.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, jump gate.
Yeah. I think we can't see them when you do that. Yeah, their names disappear too. Good.
Yeah, remember they
It's
had
good
that.
to know that on my end too.
Yeah, I don't do that dearly enough. Probably because he couldn't before.
We couldn't before. They'd just be disappeared, and we'd lose our tokens, and we're like, where are all the other tokens?
Yeah. You can see if the map overlaps too.
A little bit.
So Strahd opens the doors for you. Gestures you through.
The double doors.
Of the dining hall.
Oh. There.
He goes, I fear it has fallen from its former glory since I first began my slumber. But I hope that those with vision can see it for the marvel it once was. He's wondering if you accept his offer for a tour.
I would like to see the castle. It's a shame we come all this way to see this big mansion, and we only see the foyer and the adjacent dining room.
Please, it's castle, not a mansion.
What is a mansion? What is a castle but a fortified mansion?
He does gesture to some torches on some sconces on the walls. Says, my eyes are well adjusted to the shadows that lurk in these halls, but a mobile source of light may be kinder to your own senses.
Don't worry, I am also acclimated to the dark nothingness.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good for like 60 feet. To be specific.
Only
I tested it out once.
only 60.
That's not bad.
Interesting.
I literally 120.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Strahd pulls out a notepad, makes notes.
And what is your AC?
15.
Well, I will admit that my eyesight, as you might see, pointing to her spectacles, is not quite the best and significantly worse when it's darker.
Well then, please.
Oh yeah, I also have Devil's Sight, so I can see in magical and non-magical darkness to a distance of 120 feet. So keep that in mind, Joey, if there's any magical distance.
But you can see what?
I can see in... I'm like Zorsashi, the Sighted Blade. I can see through magical darkness.
The sighted who?
Sighted Blade.
All your characters
Never
need
heard of
titles. What's a Vogelsuch's title?
The Scarecrow.
Okay. Comma the Scarecrow.
The weird one.
But Minerva, do you grab a torch?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, the lady from the mummy thing is complete. He looks like a proper grave robber.
I am Evelyn.
Evelyn, that's right. So don't worry about moving your tokens around if you don't want, but I just want you guys to see the map. Strahd goes over in this direction.
Follow.
I definitely will be following a little bit close, but not too close.
Strahd, I'm so scared. Will you hold me as I walk through the scary halls? This grand hall is choked with dust and stretches into darkness ahead. Webs hang from the arched ceiling like drapes, and life-size statues of knights line the hallway on both sides, their eyes seeming to watch you.
I've been in the Haunted Mansion way too many times to know this effect.
But he starts to walk through this area, his footfalls echoing off the walls. And he says, this castle was built over 4 centuries prior upon the ruins of a much older fortress, which lay atop the pillar stone of Ravenloft. I put out the call for mages, architects, and engineers from every corner of my conquest. And from every corner they came.
It is a grand castle, from what I could tell outside.
Took less than a year to construct.
Impressive for something that lasts so long.
I made sure to bring the best.
Oh, this is gonna be like H.H. Holmes' Murder Mansion.
Light's gonna go out. Strahd's down on the floor. But yeah, as you walk by these statues, like, you can see that, like, the statue's eyes seems to follow you.
It has eyes?
Well, like, it's statues, so...
Yeah.
Life-size statues of knights, yeah. But upon closer inspection, you do see it is an optical illusion. Just out of character too, if you have any questions for him during the tour, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, don't be afraid of Strahd.
Yeah.
He's actually like a really nice guy.
We come out of here being like absolutely aligned with Strahd. Cooks mean pig.
Steam a good ham. It's a Barovian expression.
I see.
Steam hams.
Steam hams.
Borel is in your room right now.
Yes. I'm listening to this one. Actually, Vecna Eva Ruin game one of my friends is in. And this one guy just keeps on going, yes. It's like, you sure you want to do that? Yes.
No.
Anyway, he reaches the end of the hallway. He goes, this room leads to the chapel. Dedicated to the Morning Lord.
Oh, I didn't, especially after our talks, I didn't expect you to be somebody associated with religion.
Yes, but many that served under me were. Some within my family. Kind of says more quietly.
Taking notes.
Foreshadowing? Question mark.
I found the grandest of architects, and they fucking put the pews all in this weird, like, jumble.
As he walks in, he kind of sighs and goes, in such disarray.
Hasn't had recent use, I assume.
It has not. But
Internally,
it's just...
I'm just like, how did they all move on their own then?
As I...
One of the architects talked about something called feng shui.
But once, you're actually have some windows. I was wondering what these lights were, but they're stained glass. The moonlight coming through the stained glass. Yeah. Excuse me, but it is actually... You can tell that it is raining outside. Here do I have sound effects?
Gloomy.
And you occasionally hear distant thunder.
Your castle is so grand, I forgot about the weather around us. It was raining when we arrived.
Yes, seems a storm is a brewing, as they say.
Yes, they do.
Let's open this page up. Dim, colored lights flicker through tall, broken, and boarded-up windows of stained glass, illuminating the ancient chapel of Ravenloft. A few bats flutter near the top of the 90-foot-high dome ceiling. A balcony runs the length of the west wall, 50 feet above the floor. In the center of the balcony, two dark shapes are slumped in tall chairs. Sorry, that does not happen. Like I mentioned before, the book, then I have to read the guide. Benches coated with centuries of dust lie about the floor in jumbled disarray. Beyond the debris, lit by a piercing shaft of light, an altar stands upon a stone platform. The sides of the altar are carved with a bas relief of angelic figures entwined with grapevines. But obviously, it hasn't seen much use in disarray. He kind of muses. Cecil said this would be one of his first projects, but I see he simply hasn't gotten to that yet.
Maybe he decided that it could be saved for later. I want to take note of things because as we are walking around the castle, we have several things we are looking for.
It looks like there's
I see.
Can't tell if this death-looking guy is a statue, but that is not there.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I was
fair.
gonna ask that.
Or is it?
But yeah, before you look around, he goes, I recall the day Prefect Cyril Romulich first dedicated this sacred hall to the glory of the Morning Lord. Each man and woman had such faith in the power of his Consternation. Consternation. Well, I don't think it's a thing.
Playing these games, we all learn new words. Oh, consecration.
Consecration, like the spell. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense, like holy ground.
Yeah.
Yet, behold what it has become.
It's nothing a little elbow grease couldn't fix.
I already have many of your views on religion. As you look upon this once grand hall, do you see yourself in worship here?
I've never really been one for the gods.
It's like an impressive piece of like architecture and everything, and like craftsmanship. So that in itself is like makes the when you walk into a place like that, you just feel different, you know?
I do not. Though it is not due to the state of this lovely room. I simply do not find myself one of religious following in my current state. He's gonna start to kind of just wander around the room as he's looking at everything.
Okay.
If Strahd doesn't stop him.
Nope, it's a tour, so if you want to admire things, you definitely can.
You ever had anybody try to pilgrimage up to this place?
But... oh, that figure actually might be there. Hold on.
Was he there in the Minecraft map?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I mentioned this, but I downloaded a Minecraft map of the castle.
Yeah, you shared pictures of it.
Because we have to learn the castle. We
No,
don't know what
yep.
it looks like yet.
There is no remains there.
Okay. Could have been me. Could have been my
Yeah.
body.
It's a scarecrow.
Now it's gone. Well, I assume I wasn't a scarecrow when I was alive. I mean, I could have been. I don't think I was.
Nothing really of note. You are by another door here. That seems to lead both upwards and downwards. To a staircase that leads both upwards and downwards.
I won't leave the room. I won't lead the direction we head into. Ooh, that's cool. But I'm just taking note of it.
Yep.
Wherever Strahd wants to lead us is where I'll follow.
To the oubliette.
The what?
He's actually waiting by this hallway up here. But he has his hands behind his back as you all admire.
Strahd, did you clean up for company? No.
Told you to clean your room.
Wanna. This is just how I like it. When's dinner?
I just ate. One ice cream.
I noticed Strahd didn't serve us dessert.
Yeah.
Skimped on that, apparently.
Noted.
Well, the only cow in
no-
Barovia has been giving weird milk ever since they were spooked.
Yeah.
But you did say that there was like sweet fruits and vegetables available,
Yeah.
so I feel like it was there, but it was in the form of fruits and not like cakes and stuff.
Yeah, no cakes.
There are some sweet tasting bugs. I'm aware of this. No, just wait, everybody. We need to wait for the next room to load before we can enter it.
Yeah. Oh, he's just waiting for y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
Sorry, my mic was up. Yep, we're here.
Steps into this room. This arch room connects a vast chamber to the east and a staircase that rises to the west. Alcoves in the north and south walls hold 8-foot-tall sculptures of helmed knights with muscular bodies. Black shadows fall across their faces.
Their statues are not actual like giant suits of armor.
They're statues.
Such craftsmanships on these things. I almost expect them to come to life any moment.
So, going upstairs. It's not ready.
Yeah. This is where I have my Xbox.
Here's my man cave.
This over here is my PlayStation, and then that over there is my GameCube.
We haven't got a Wii
Okay.
yet. Can't find it. Sorry, this is acting weird.
It's the rain.
It's creating suspense.
Well, stop hiding things.
JavaScript never got to restart or refresh the page.
Refresh.
This would have happened in real life if you built a real miniature castle that we could have explored. God.
Wonder if anyone, like, how you made the Death House? I wonder if anyone made like a full-scale Castle Ravenloft.
Oh, I'm sure people have done that, or at least modeled it with D&D tiles systems.
I feel like somebody has to. I'm just thinking about like how cold this whole place would be, because I'm assuming most of the residents there don't need warmth.
Yeah, that's true. Probably like a couple cats going.
Oh, dynamic
castle.
lighting was on. That's what happened.
Somebody created a three-dimensional map for it in Tabletop Simulator.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Like I said, I downloaded a map in Minecraft. It's pretty cool. Okay. Okay. We'll arrive up here. I'll copy all your tokens, hold on.
Luxurious 10-foot wide staircases.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's incredibly wide.
It's as wide as your building is tall, or the room you're in is tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, the anime?
Yeah.
Is that different
know.
from the one from the 90s?
Yeah, there's a newer one, and they go into a vampire's castle, and it's just like sci-fi, like opulent, which is weird. But it's just
Okay.
everything's so big.
As you climb the stairs, this staircase is made of old wood that strains underfoot, creaking and groaning. A sculpted stone railing encloses this long balcony, which overlooks Ravenloft's chapel. 2 ornate thrones stand side by side in the center of the balcony, covered with dust and strung with cobwebs. The thrones face away from the double doors that give access to the balcony.
Take a look at my grand castle. Cobwebs everywhere.
He's been away.
I think you'd have like some animated brooms or unseen servants.
But he kind of gestures to the balcony. You can see the chapel from the second floor.
Quite the view.
I would oversee the services occasionally. He gestures to the 2 thrones.
Does this building, does this room, the chapel, go up like even further than like 2 stories?
There's a domed ceiling.
Okay, yeah, so it probably goes like right up to the top.
Yeah, that would be at least another floor, I think.
Yeah. Wish I could cast fly.
But he opens up.
Minerva says like, did you make your brides swap out to sit in the other chair? Trying to make a joke.
The second throne is traditionally held for the queen. And as I am never declared myself king, I was without a queen.
Oh, okay.
Does that perplex you?
A bit. What is it that stops you from being a king?
I shall answer your question in a more relevant room. And he gestures towards this doorway here.
Okay.
And this is where I keep my queens when I'm not using them.
This 20-foot high hall has dark vaulted ceilings draped with cobwebs. A low moan seems to travel the length of the corridor as it rises and falls, emanating sadness and despair. There's something else in the room. A tapestry.
Who needs a new interior decorator?
It's page 25 pages ahead. That's not moved. That shows how big this place is.
Yeah.
Hanging from an iron rod bolted to the eastern wall is a dusty 10-foot square tapestry depicting knights on horseback charging across a battlefield under a blood-red sky. The lead knight rides a black horse and wears fur-lined black cloak, dark gray armor, and a visored helm shaped like a wolf's head. His sword glows with the light of the sun. I said East End, but it would probably be on this thing here. That's what was in the other room. But he kind of stops. He stops in front of the tapestry.
Oh, what's all this? A bit of history?
Oh, do you not know what it depicts?
One of your victories, I assume?
Shakes his head. Though you are wise to know the similarity, that is my father, King Barov von Zarovich, and his fearsome knights riding into glorious battle.
As the son of the king, wouldn't you automatically become king upon your father's?
Upon his death, yes, I was bestowed the title of king. But
And
once
you-
again, I ask for patience as we arrive to the relevant location.
Very well.
His eyes kind of linger on the sword. Because it was my father who...
Good.
Oh, actually, no, he doesn't say that. Go ahead.
I'll take a look at the sword too. Is there anything in particular about it, or just look like a, just this?
It seems to be a sword that is glowing with sunlight
And this is on the tapestry itself.
on the tapestry. Yeah.
Like some sort of sun sword.
A sword of the sun, you say?
Yes. Like in Chrono Trigger. I'll take note of that.
Yeah. Because he sees you looking at the sword. He goes, well, that is my father's sword, the Bright Blade. He kind of glances at Vio and he goes, fashioned from the hilt of an elven blade.
Is that so?
A moon blade, they called it. Crystal blade imbued with the radiance of the Morning Lord. But it was broken long ago, however. He looks at it for a moment more, and then begins to towards the store.
Follow.
Let's see if you have any other questions for him.
Well, it was
Don't
like,
forget
hey,
to follow.
wait until we get to later in the castle, and I'll tell you about being the king. Also, here's my father, the king.
The king.
Yeah, I guess it's just like, well, did you ever see it really glow like that? Or was it just sort of a visual metaphor type thing?
It's not a metaphor. Saw it with my own eyes. Just leaves it at that. The door opens to reveal another set of double doors, 10 feet ahead. Between these doors, a 10-foot wide corridor stretches north and south. At each end of the hall, floating in the darkness, human skeletons clad in rusted armor and tattered livery of the castle guard.
Have they been standing at attention for the past 400 years?
Even Strahd is a little taken off guard by this. And he actually starts to inspect it. And he kind of plucks at some wires that are holding them up.
Ooh, that's odd. They were human last time I was
Yeah.
here.
He goes, Cyrus. So it goes, that Bellevue man must have thought we needed guards. He gives the wires another flick. He kind of sighs. Moving on.
Of all the stuff that has been happening in this castle, that is the weirdest thing. Of him not understanding why there are fake
Yeah.
guards in his own castle.
Yeah,
It turns out he's one of those people who only basically lives in just one room of his entire
Yeah.
house.
He's like, what the crap? Oh my god, that scared me. Whoa. If I still had a heart that was beating, it would be beating out of my chest.
Oh god, it's like a freaking recurring dream I would always get, where I always thought I lived in a bigger house than I did, and I just never went into the other rooms and would just throw stuff in there, and so they were just eerily empty. But it was my house.
This room actually has a smart.
That's a smart.
It's a smart art.
Oh. Oh, I love this part of the Haunted Mansion.
Dim light from the courtyard falls into this great hall through the broken glass and iron latticework of a large window in the west hall. A cold wind shrieks through the broken window as arcs of lightning lance from the weeping skies beyond, each bolt followed by a crack of distant thunder. This immense room is a place of chilly, brooding darkness. Empty iron sconces dot the walls. Hundreds of dust-laden cobwebs drape the hall, hiding the ceiling from view. Directly across from the window stands a set of double doors in the east wall. Further south, a single door that also leads from the east wall. Staircases at both ends of the north wall lead down. At the far southern end of the hall, a large wooden throne stands atop a marble dais. The high-backed throne faces south, away from most of the room. So the throne is backwards.
Is that just facing the wall?
Yep, facing an empty wall.
There's a metaphor.
It's the throne for the cat that just comes in and just sits down and faces the wall for no reason.
This is Mr. Flufflebutt's throne. She's quite the princess.
One day she will be my queen.
And one day she will rule this land.
isn't that the plot to Aristocrats?
Maybe.
Everything gets left to the cats.
It's in a while.
You asked me why I do not have... You asked me why I do not have the title of king. And he gestures towards the throne. And he goes, you are correct. When I was a child, Saint Andrel anointed my father, King Barov, as the rightful heir to the crown of Old Zarovia. And when King Barov died, I inherited his crown, with the title of king. But once the mist descended upon Barovia, the land I conquered were consigned to history, my family's ancestral legacy forsaken and lost. It would be an arrogance beyond folly to name myself king without a kingdom to rule. And so I keep the king's seat turned from my reach as a memento to the lands that I lost. And he adds softly, and yet few things are lost forever.
Do you lament the loss of the kingdom? Do you wish it was not that way, that it did not become that way?
I wish for many things. I am a conqueror with no lands to conquer.
Yes. You've won the game. What to do next? take
He
a look
he,
over at the,
he just gives a wary smile.
Oh, there he is.
Hey.
Ah!
He's huge.
I'm Strahd von Zarovich. I'll actually take a look at the painting, the portrait.
I do respect the modesty of not taking up the title in that way.
Yeah, like, for most people, that wouldn't be a thing to stop them.
Oh, I think there's actually a portrait.
Character art.
I think I've showed it to you before. There we go.
Oh yeah, that one.
No, that doesn't look like it. There's one where it's obviously Vampire Strahd.
Well, he is younger.
Yeah, I think this would be after the... Okay, I think it looks more like this.
Yeah, there you go.
In fact, I think it is this, yeah.
I like the glass.
Yeah, this
Like,
probably isn't in
see.
the portrait, but I like how in this picture there's a mirror behind him,
Mm.
and you can't see him. You can only see the glass.
That's good. It is an impressive portrait. Captures your good side.
Your liveliness. Sorry, just getting a couple things ready. So now you know why I don't call myself king.
Out of integrity, yes.
Respectable.
Uh, sorry, I was reading ahead a little bit. So after a moment, as you're admiring the portrait, you see that Dusk Elf Rahadin ascend from one of the staircases.
Oh goody.
He's accompanied by someone else. Rahadin holds a chain in his right hand. It links connected to a steel collar clamped tightly around the neck of the stumbling figure he drags forward behind him. The figure's features are obscured by the sack they wear over their head, their clothes torn away and replaced by a thoroughbred, shapeless robe. And Strahd greets him.
Threadbare?
Threadbare.
That's what
Yeah.
Threadbare, yes.
Yeah. Like, was that like weave count or something like that? I only see that word when I, like...
So it's like,
It's-
it's so worn that you can actually see the threads in it instead of
Yeah.
looking at this
Oh,
small
okay.
mask.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The threads are bare to visual.
There. Yeah.
So I don't have a token for him, but he does have this guy on a collar, chained up. And Strahd greets him and says, "Punctual as always, I see." Upon approaching Strahd and the players, Rahadin halts, then yanks the chain harshly forward, forcing the prisoner to kneel. "The prisoner awaits your judgment, my lord." Strahd nods, and Rahadin rips away the sack covering the figure's head. The figure is a man, his eyes wide and terrified. His body, however, has been warped beyond recognition, his muscles grotesquely swollen, his skin cracked and fissured like parched earth. Most unsettling of all are the 4 lumps that atom his shoulders, each resembling a tiny misshapen head with its eyes squeezed shut. So he's obviously some sort of, beyond a deformity, he is changed and different somehow.
Yeah, and who is this?
Yes. There are some in Barovia who attempt to deal with powers far darker than I. Regards the man with an obvious distaste, adding, in one way or another, they all receive their reward in the end. Then he turns to you all. Perhaps you can offer your consultation on what we should do with him. This man is a murderer. He was a Valachian who murdered his neighbor after he caught his wife and the neighbor having an affair. I'm told he tore a wooden beam from the victim's own home and used it to crush him to death. A savage brute. For his crimes, he was sentenced to death. A lord's justice is unlike the justice in the battlefield, which I am most accustomed. And it has come time to decide how this creature will pass from this world. He gestures to you. So how shall it be done?
What happened to him? Indicating the misshapenness.
Accepted a dark power. That's not what's concerned here. The man is a murderer.
Ah.
And what happened to his wife in the interim? Did he do anything to her?
Says he did not.
So this is a man who took it upon himself to...
Speak up a little more, Mark.
So this is a man who took it upon himself to reclaim what he felt he deserved? The affair was not one-sided, was it? Yet the retribution that he gave out seems to have been one-sided.
Which is why he's being punished. Murder is a crime.
I understand.
Was he in this state when he murdered? And does this state increase aggression?
Rahadin steps forward, yanks the chain. He goes, the sentence has already been made. You cannot persuade me differently.
No, I'm just kind of curious about how the whole situation went down.
The question is, how will this man be set? In what ways will this man meet his death? The Lord asks you a question. And like Strahd, his hands behind his back, is watching you expectantly.
Is there a customary process for execution of this type of crime?
I'm curious how you would do it. And how it should be carried out.
Like, honestly, if it's gonna happen, I would just do it quick, just get it over with, move on to the next thing.
This man looks scared, by the way. But
Well, he should. He killed his fucking wife, or his wife's lover.
he looks frightened, but he darts his eyes to all of you. His eyes linger on you, Minerva.
So he was from Vallaki. Does he look familiar remotely, or there's just like we didn't memorize everyone in there.
No, it's someone you didn't notice.
Yeah.
There are-
But he starts sniffing the air as his eyes turn to you, Minerva. He goes, "Smell amber. You think yourselves above me, but you carry the stink as well. Does it whisper to you? I wonder."
Well, I see that may not be in the right of mind, but it is. Say that somebody is already dead because of this. Trying to not make eye contact with him. Sort of like pretending like she doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then, just thinking as like. I guess I would have to agree with Grude. I don't know. It just seems like he's not really in the right state of mind of someone. I worry that he's not under some sort of hex or spell, that it wasn't really him, but something else that made him do it.
Strahd's eyes narrow. "I remind you that the sentence has been made."
Since everybody else seems hesitant, Veal, since it seems to be the local suggestion, do unto him as he did unto them. End his life the same way he ended their life.
Rahadin kind of eyes Strahd. Strahd then gestures to the man. He goes, "Carry out the order. Or carry out the punishment then."
Do you want to note that Grude was like, just do it over quick, whatever it is. So Grude did say.
Quick slice to the neck is
Uh,
quite
they-
humane, I hear.
The way they described it earlier, he took a beam of the ceiling and just bashed
Yeah.
his head in. So,
Yeah.
that sounds quick.
You wish to have a quick death then. Carry out the execution.
Wait, I gotta do it?
He
I
doesn't
thought that was
say.
his job.
He doesn't say anything. He's just gesturing towards him.
I don't even know if I'm like strong enough to do it.
Vogelsuch will step forward and summon the scythe.
Okay.
Quick death.
Honestly, yeah, you'd be the best to do this, dude.
Yep.
Minerva does feel uncomfortable, but she also like the idea of like the amber infection, I guess is the way that she's understanding it. Doesn't make it feel like seeing almost like what Isaac became as well, and it's not so much of like it's just like, oh no, we lost somebody to the amber and now like they're dying again because of something else. But yeah. She's not going to intervene.
Look down at the man.
You have the right to one final word. Your last words, I believe. Does the condemned say anything?
His eyes are still on Minerva. He just says, "Do you hear the whispers?"
He's gone mad. And I will slice his neck.
Is everyone else watching or turn away or?
Minerva's not like so. Heads turned away.
Yeah, look away at the last moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Grude also will be like they'll kind of blink and yeah.
Hey, Blinken.
You just hear gurgling, and the sounds of him choking on his own blood.
Oh, I'm trying to do a nice clean slice through, if possible.
Well,
Like,
it's,
Like a
that's
decapitation?
A guillotine type thing?
it's still
or-
not going to be
Yeah.
pleasant for him.
Oh, honestly, I will get into a slight nerd thing. From what I understand, guillotine or decapitation immediately is actually quite a quick way to go. Like, it's over in literally like under a second, and the mind is separated from it.
So that what you do? He's going to slice off the head.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I wonder how many interns have they gone through for studies like that?
That's what whatever video I was watching
We
was
can't-
like, talk about, like,
we
how
can't-
you can't really study
I
that.
was about to say, yeah, he's like, we can't ask them quick enough how they feel. But you quickly decapitate the man in his body. You hear a thud as his body and another smaller thud as his head hits the ground. He says, I would congratulate you on your source of will, but someone without a soulless abomination such as Vogel to carry out a murder does not surprise me.
A murder? I believe he was condemned.
Oh, yeah, so misspoke. To
Eh.
to carry out a execution does not surprise me.
Execution,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly why I stepped up and did it.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I think Vogelsuch would realize, like, everyone else would be uncomfortable with that, and he would be like, I'll
Yeah.
just do it.
Yes.
He'll
Perhaps
he'll
Ludmilla would
Sweet.
like to. Ludmilla would like to study this man's deformities. Less useful now that he's no longer alive. He snaps a finger at Rahadin, who scoops up the head and starts to carry away the body.
Sorry about the mess.
Perhaps he goes, my servants will take care of it.
looks around at the rest of the room. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Mm-hmm.
Add it to the to-do list.
But he goes, sadly, our night is coming to a close.
Dinner and an execution? Quite the night.
He will lead you back downstairs. Back to the courtyard.
While we're walking back, can I bring up something?
Yeah.
Just like as we're walking, just kind of like, Count von Zarovich, may I ask you something? I understand I might be overstepping.
Of course.
You say that you became what you were after dying. You are living an undead life. Just, I'm curious, how did you die?
I was stabbed.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It sealed the pact.
Minerva will look up and be like, I don't really know what that means, but I'm not gonna dig any deeper.
See this like as you're exiting, like you see the carriage there, and the rain is practically pouring at this point. He goes, I must thank you for the most enjoyable and insightful evening. It was a shame that your other comrades could not join.
Thank you for the hospitality, tour, and dinner itself.
Yeah, this was actually like a really nice night. This is really nice.
Yes, thank you.
Spared
Also
no
for-
expense.
Yes.
In the background, we
The
see
T-Rex comes in.
in the background, we see the guy dragging the dead body that we
Yeah.
killed.
It's like, thank you for the wonderful evening. It was quite pleasurable. And you see Rodden just dragging a body in the head drop and like roll across the floor. He's like, oh darn, he has to like go and try to get it as it's rolling away down the stairs.
To make his red
Okay,
so close his head
can I-
go round.
Trying to stuff it in the trash can
Yeah.
next to the front door.
What are you gonna say? Someone's gonna say something? No.
What?
Never
No.
I
mind.
think we were all just making that same joke.
Making a joke.
Same joke.
Making funnies.
Perhaps next time we can see a bit more of the castle. There seems to be so much of it.
Yes, perhaps. And before he kind of like finishes the thought, a flash of blinding white fills the air above the courtyard. An explosion of sounds rattles the broken glass and iron latticework of the chamber's large window. As the acrid scent of ozone fills the room. You're still inside when this happens, I guess. You see a cloud of thick black smoke rising from one of the towers behind the raised drawbridge. And even Strahd, like, doesn't jump, but his eyes dart. He goes, no cause for alarm. Stray lightning bolt has struck part of the keep. We'll be in here.
I guess that happens when it's the tallest thing in the field.
And made of metal.
Yeah.
And you see Ludmilla descend the stairs here. She usually has a stony expression on her face, but she looks especially serious now. And she bows deeply before Strahd, and she says, he goes, oh, my lord, it appears a bolt of lightning has struck the south gate tower. I have dispatched Diavola, my apprentice, to inspect the tower, determined if repairs are needed. And she kind of eyes all of you. He goes, the drawbridge might be damaged, my lord.
Taking notes.
Strahd goes, that is unfortunate. Please let me offer you refreshments as we await the report. And
Here to take it.
he flicks his tongue, and a bat from the ceiling flies down. And Strahd outstretches a hand, and the bat lands on it. Imagine like he like hangs from his hand, and he goes, Please inform Esther and Sasha that our guests require wine and tea. And the bat makes a little squeaky noise and then flies away. Oh, actually, yeah, like, he just says, please send for Sasha.
May I request that this is where we end it for tonight, unless you have something...
We're almost done.
Okay.
Then we started a little late.
Yeah, it's mainly just the work situation's a little
Yeah.
weird for me, so... But yeah, we're almost done. Cool. It just seemed like a good
We're about to get juicy deets on where to sneak in.
But Sasha...
Or forget about it by next week.
Sasha does come up. She has a tray of spice wine and herbal tea. She goes, I apologize for the inconvenience, but I have full faith in Ludmilla and her associates will remedy any problem there is.
Minerva will go for the tea and say, oh, this is, thank you for the hospitality while we wait. And then look at Sasha and say, like, thank you very much to her and see if I can get eye contact from her.
She's like avoiding eye contact, but once she sees it, she makes an effort to look at you.
Via will surreptitiously comment while getting a spiced tea. Full trust in Ludmilla, huh? Give a kind of smirk.
She's good at what she does.
I've yet to see that.
You see the slightest... A little hard to see under the veil, but you see a smirk.
Amusement? Or annoyance?
Amusement. After a moment, a young woman arrives from the front door here. Not really a description, but Diavola. Ludmilla turns to her and says, Deliver your report to the master. Diavola casts her eyes towards the ground as she bows hurriedly towards Strahd, stammering, Forgive me, great one. The lightning has scorched the runes inscribed unto the upper tower. The bridge, it will not work until the runes are freshly cast. And Strahd goes, Then recast the runes. And she nods hurriedly. And she's wringing her hands and licking her lips. And she adds, Yes, but it would require the aid of the full coven, and even then it could take us until morning. Then see that it is done then. Strahd replies, You were dismissed. And she flees up the stairs. Strahd turns to you and goes, I apologize for the inconvenience, but it appears that you'll be unlikely to leave until the morning. Should you wish it, if you wish it, I would be more than glad to have rooms prepared for you for the night. Our guest quarters are warm and comfortable, and in far better condition than many other chambers in the castle.
That would be very nice of you. Thank you.
That's like beyond hospitable. Thank you so much.
Your guests in my home
Thank you.
in unforeseen circumstances means you can't leave. So I offer you my full hospitality.
Sleepover.
This is gonna be wild going back to anyone else being like, we had a sleepover at Strahd's.
Yeah. That's 5 nights at Strahd's.
Oh no, you were hinting at that with the title, but it's true.
We built a little pillow castle.
Yep. And as he hears your agreement, he claps his hands. And Sasha hurries over. And he says, "Show our guests." He goes up. "Sasha, show our guests to their rooms, please." And she bows and goes, "Yes, my lord." And Strahd turns to you, and he goes, "I bid you all good night." And he will retreat up the stairs where Ludmilla is waiting, and starts to have a discussion with her. But Sasha will grab a torch from the sconce and goes, "Follow me, and do not stray from my path, unless you wish to die the most painful death."
Well, with an invitation like that, how can I say no?
And I forget which direction it is, but she will head in the direction, I think up the stairs too, but as we'll call it for tonight.
She offers us that every time she meets us.
Yeah.
That's just how she says hi. But yeah, I did not expect that we would be trapped there.
I was wondering, like, there had to be a thing. It's like, yeah, you have dinner, you have a short tour. It's like, no, this is a giant castle. Like, there's gotta be something.
Alright. So everyone, how was dinner?
That was fun.
I don't know, I couldn't eat any of it. Sorry, go ahead.
Can they eat the roast beast?
Yeah, we're not exactly the best guests.
I thought it was kind of neat how it was more like how we would play our characters opposed to how the dice would roll, which was neat.
Sure, yeah.
Sure, I guess, yeah.
You only had to roll 1 dice.
I know. It was like I'm assuming it depended on how we answered something would change something or not.
It's also a DM thing. Some will more like go for a roll whenever a player suggests something. If you do that, like I'm that kind of DM where it's like you suggest something, I'm like, let's have a roll if there could be a roll. Whereas in this case, it's like very narrative driven, so there's very little case of need to have these rolls. We actually played a game in our other thing Joey and I are in, and we had 1 roll the entire game like 2 weeks ago, and it was me just deciding something for my character. It wasn't even asked to roll. I was like, am I smart enough to do this? Let me roll for it. That was the only roll we had all night because it was entirely role play session.
Yeah. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, it's good. Next week we gotta sneak around the haunted castle.
I have the Irina and the thing. It's not completely colored. But
Yeah, mostly Esmeralda done.
Esmeralda's done, but not
Like flats.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm just gonna toss it up in the thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the old stuff posted.
Yeah, I fully expect us to Scooby-Doo it up next weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Yep. 2 corpses. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's going.
Oh, there's gonna be plenty more corpses in 2.
I'm gonna crop this image because what the hell, Steph?
Well, I just drew it, and because it's not done.
Okay.
It
So
is a
you
big
can copy right
canvas,
now.
though.
Yeah, so I think
Tip
I
off.
thought I did a good job, and Sam's doing a great job with the colors.
Yep.
The world is definitely disappearing around them, that's for sure.
Flashback.
You guys should make actual D&D art for.
I have the link for the application to do that.
Ooh, go for it.
Cut back to Arabelle. She has another doll that looks like Irina, and she's just having the two dolls like
Okay, so
we're not kissing. It's like that little tea table, and goes, "Oh, this is a lovely date, Esmeralda." It's like, yes. Are you enjoying your tea, Irina? Oh, I'm so distracted from the tea because of how beautiful you are.
You're so pretty, and you have such a cool leg. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. It's fake.
and that's what I like about it.
Have you seen? Do you know Adam Potts?
Thank you. I only have one.
So it's like a kid conversation right there.
Meanwhile, Van Richten is just staring at her, and just like,
Ugh. Kids.
Have you seen the Adam Tots comic about Reacher, and it's him going on a date with Reacher?
No.
You like your butter noodles? Yes, Reacher from the TV show Reacher. Are you having a good time on our date? Yes, I am. And then the Reacher just blushes.
You
Alright,
keep
I'll
butter
jump
noodles?
off. I will see everybody next week.
Yep.
It was a good session.
Thanks.
Later, all.
Remember no Humblewood on Tuesday.
Right. Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, when I finish coloring this, I'll throw it up in the thing.
And cropped.
ugh. Have fun.